Good morning, grinders. Welcome to the DFS pregame show here on RotoGrinders. I'm Jordan Cooper, aka BlenderEd, Blender HD. If you want to follow me on Twitter, and it's Thursday, July 14th. Is it Flag Day? Isn't that when the day is it Flag Day? Let me check. Is it? It's the day that it's holiday and no one celebrates, right? Flag. Is it Flag Day? June 14th. Okay, so no, I'm a month away. No, it was Flag Day last month. I knew it was the 14th of June or July, but okay, it's happy belated Flag Day. So whatever it is, but it's July 14th. We're getting close to the All-Star break. Baseball's going on. Well, remember, next week no shows Monday through Thursday here, so don't bother showing up. You won't see a thumbnail or anything like that. Good morning, people in the chat. Wataz Wataz is beating Suki Singh consistently day after day. Suki, you have to get here a little bit earlier, right? So we got Wataz, Suki Singh, Doug Montgomery. Good morning, D-Fick. Good morning to you. Listening, Doug Montgomery's listening and stuff. Sorry, I'm a little late. I had to go. I had to pick up 10 wrestling tickets. They went on pre-sale. They did inopportune times, 11 in the morning Eastern. But I'm assuming that by the time this show is over, all the tickets would be sold out. So I got to do it early. Got to do it early before the show. But I did secure them, so I'm good to go. And are we good to go today? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games. 11 games tonight. Not much of an afternoon slate. I mean, I think there's like one game. I mean, looking here. You got this one game. This is the Coors game, which is finally off the slate. Kind of sick. Did they price up? They're still barely. Okay, now eventually, by the time that they're not on the slate, they've priced up at least somewhat the Padres. Right? Void is now 4,300 and Cronenworth's 4,900. And Kim is 36. They got a little bit better. But now that they're not on the slate, it doesn't really matter anymore. Yesterday, yesterday they failed again, right? I'd Rockies. Like my best lineup. FanDuel, FanDuel I'm getting killed in. I don't know, the past week. I had a good lineup. I had a Rocky stack with Hilliard and Iglesias and Ohtani, but I also had the Guardians in that lineup, and they didn't do anything. So I cashed, but didn't go anywhere. But my best lineup, I made 4 lineups on Draftkings, and this one was in the sacrifice. I'm playing kind of like under 1,000 entries, single entry 3 max type of contests. So I'm putting them in multiple. So I had this one in the skipper. That was the $25 contest, 470 entries, and this one is a $27, 129 entries, and this one came in third. This one came in fourth, and essentially it was a 4-4 Dodgers Rockies with Ohtani and Gray. Pretty much that was the nut combo for pitcher yesterday, Ohtani and Gray, and then getting Iglesias at shortstop. I mean, got 0 points from Lux, but I mean, did pretty well. So yeah, I had Dodgers, Rockies, on DraftKings. I also had the Dodgers on FanDuel also. Who else did I have yesterday? Someone that didn't do very well. I mean, I had some Padres, but not much. Oh yeah, no, I had Severino in my 121 lineup. Yeah, my 121 lineup did not do very well. Severino, but the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Reds, the lowest team total team on the entire slate, and they're Moustakas and Fairchild. I don't even know who that is, but 7, 8, 9 back to back. They were like 0.0% owned. Right, I think we could even look. Let's look at result DB. I'd be shocked to see if they were even in like the winning lineup at all in the large field where you kind of want the nuts. Oh, did Ship My Money win yesterday? Okay, let's see. Right, see, you didn't even need him. You didn't even need it, right? McClanahan, Gray, right? You didn't even need Ohtani. As long as you got 4% owned, Iglesias 3% owned, Hilliard at 22 points, Cronenworth, right? So this is a 4, looks like a 4-3-1 or a 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's 4 Dodgers, 3 Padres, 3 Rockies, 1 Padre. Same thing. I mean, the Padres didn't really get there. I mean, Cronenworth did. He was the main part, but everyone else wasn't really needed. When you're going through here, yeah, like Teoscar had 2 home runs. Wasn't even in the winning lineup. He was 2% owned. It's like, do we see even any of those Reds? Like that bottom of the order Reds? Like, we don't even see it. Like, you don't even have to, even in the large field, you didn't even have to worry about it. I mean, what were they even owned? I mean, can we find anything? Anything with the Reds? Anything. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know how far I have to even scroll down to even see this. It's Cardinals. Where are the Reds? Let's filter by team. Cincinnati. I mean, the whole stack didn't come through. Because there you go. Okay, so you really didn't even need them, right? Because, I mean, they just basically hit solo home runs. 19, 16, 14, and they were 0.2, 1.1, and 0.4% owned. Yeah, but enough people scored. It's not like yeah, you're right. You didn't really need the Reds at all, right? I thought maybe they had more points. And of course, the stack doesn't get there because you need the 7, 8, 9 hitter, and any 2 other guys really didn't do anything enough, right? They didn't do enough here. The Rockies were the main stack, right? Well, not even that. Just basically Jose Iglesias. I mean, really, what were the top scorers like batter-wise, right? Teoscar, if you had him as a one-off. I don't know if the Blue Jays stack. Did any stack come in really that well? I mean, other than Iglesias at shortstop, Teoscar, Cronenworth, and then as long as you get 2 good enough pitchers, one of the 30-point pitchers and someone that's close, Giolito, McClanahan, something like that, you probably did well. Okay, kind of surprising. I thought maybe you'd see some type of one-off. Moustakas one-off, some 0.2% one-off in the winning lineup or something close to it. But when they're that low owned, you almost don't even have to worry because how many lineups have that player even in it? Like Fairchild, for instance. Like we could even do the math, right? We go to Cincinnati, Fairchild, 0.2% owned. Okay, 0.2. So in this contest is what? 19,607 times 0.0. The 0.101 would be 1%, but it's actually 0.2%. That equals, looks like about 39 lineups, 39, 40 lineups with Fairchild in it. Seems like a lot. Seems like a lot. I don't know if we could actually go. We can't use this to see exactly where those lineups are. But most likely, anyone that has 2K Fairchild in their lineup, who knows what the hell their lineup looks like. If it's a red stack, it doesn't get there. It doesn't get to the top anyway. And if you have it as a one-off, I don't know what the hell's in the rest of your lineup. Who knows? Who knows? Who the hell knows? But that was kind of what happened yesterday. So I had a profitable day on DraftKings, not one on FanDuel. But we have an 11-game slate today. Oh yeah, in the early slate yesterday, I was doing so well till Soto had to have a 3-run home run, bottom of the 9th for no reason. Right, 44% owned Soto in my contest. I was up a couple of $100. I was close to winning with some of the single entry stuff, not the 121, like the 25 and the $20 3 max stuff like that for like a grand or two or something. So I was sitting in the top. I was sitting in the top 5. I was like 3 to 6, heading into the 9th inning of the Nationals game, and of course, 44% owned Soto has to hit a home run, a 3-run home run, and that knocked me all the way down. So I lost a little money. I went from I was up $1,000 to down $50 on one swing of the bat. 44% owned Soto. Or did I play yesterday? Yeah, my Milwaukee stack in the 121 didn't do very well. What team went off yesterday in the early slate that I had? Oh, the Mets. The Mets against Morton. Okay, that's what I had. I had the Mets combined with someone else. I had a 5-man Mets stack with Bassett, Skubal. I think I had Tigers in that lineup. I had Riley Green in that lineup. I don't remember. Something like that. I mean, you move on to the next slate. Yeah, at some point, what's the point in going back? I don't know. I barely remember. I remember last night's slate more than I remember yesterday afternoon slate. But we do have 11-game slate. I I think it's the same 11 games on FanDuel also. And one of the big things about tonight's slate is that what the hell is this Royals lineup going to look like? Right? The Royals have 10 players that cannot enter Canada because of their vaccination status. So their projected lineup is who the hell? I mean, they have Bobby. Okay, Bobby. This is their projected lineup. Bobby Witt, Vinny Pasquantino, Olivares, O'Hearn, Rivera, Waters, Prato, Rivera, because they don't even have catchers, right? Because Perez is out. Melendez is on the restricted list. Cam Gallagher is injured, or he's out, or something like that. So they're down to their third catcher. So you take a look at this, and it's like, oh, I don't even. Yeah, their team total is not a quarter of a point. I don't know. It's just a data error here. So Gausman's going to be pretty popular. Even though the past couple of starts he hasn't been pitching all that great, but essentially outside, I mean, really out. I mean, kind of outside of Witt, you're kind of Pasquantino. Okay, I get it, but I mean he's a rookie. But this is like a AAA lineup, essentially. I mean, the fact that Nicky Lopez is projected ninth even in this lineup, right, shows how pretty bad of a hitter Nicky Lopez is. Now you can get him cheap, sure. Other than Bobby Witt at 4,500, like everyone's going to be 2K in this lineup because they're all like guys off the bench and AAA call-ups. So I think Gausman may actually be overowned. Does it mean that the Royals, do well? No, but can they do well enough? Can they score 3 or 4 runs off of Gausman that knocks Gausman out as a top pitcher? So we look at that. We don't even have ownership up yet. Let's see. I'll reload it again. Manny asks, what's a good WOBA and ISO for a pitcher for that pitcher is attackable? Thanks. If you could get to this question. I have no idea. I don't look at either of those two stats. I do not look at any baseball stats whatsoever. Now, that there's an asterisk on there. Okay? An asterisk. Aster. Is that how you pronounce it? I do not. If you notice, if you watch these shows, I don't talk about any baseball stats whatsoever. You know why? Because they're already factored into the projection model. Like the projection model is looking at those. Yeah, they are, but the model is. But all I really care about is the range of outcomes that the model comes out with. And I trust the model. I use the BAT, Derek Carty's projection system. He does all that work for me. 200 plus variables. Weights them accordingly. Does whatever, linear regression, whatever he needs to do. And all I need is the number, right? All I need is a median number, a floor, a ceiling. That's it. So I don't look at it. I don't. You know how a pitcher is attackable when the opposing team projects well. That's when you know, right? So we take a look here. We could even look on the BAT. If you have the BAT, let's go to the BAT stacks page. Okay, so Derek Carty with the BAT has a stack projections page based on the current projection. Obviously, we have no starting lineups or nothing. And the stack page is down. Okay, so we can't even look at that yet because Carty hasn't woken up in the morning. That's why the ownership isn't in. Okay, that's the reason why. We go to the Plate IQ ownership. Right, we could look at the Plate IQ stuff. Let's see if that's up this early. Do we have? Okay, here we go. Stack leverage. Okay, this is based on the Plate IQ projections, which is still a projection model, just not as many variables as the BAT. So you can see here, the smash percentage. Smash is a relative term of putting up a lot of points compared to their salary. And then we could also look at the ownership, Plate IQ ownership based on that. So what pitchers look to be attackable? Well, the smash percentage on Minnesota and Atlanta seem to be pretty high, and they're facing Cueto and Sanchez. So the projections on the batters on Minnesota and Atlanta are good. Probably those are the pitchers that you're attacking, right? Or you could even look at just the projections for the pitchers, right? You look at the pitcher projections. We just sort by just median. We go, what's on the bottom? Who projects for the lowest median? Well, Elvin Rodriguez, because him. I'm not saying he's a good pitcher, but he's probably only going to pitch 3 innings. I think he's only going to pitch 50, 60 pitches. So obviously he's going to be low projected. But look who's at the bottom. Sanchez and Cueto. The model does it for you already. So once you have projections, there's really no need to look at any other statistics. You'll be counting them twice, if anything. Oh, they project well, and this guy, and whatever baseball stat. No, it's everything's already factored into these numbers as well. So that's why I would suggest you sign up for RotoGrinders Premium. Click on the link in the description, get $10 off your first month, and get at least the plate IQ projections. Then you won't have to look at all the baseball stats anymore. It's already factored in. If you get a combo package, you get that for NFL, you get that for all the sports. There are MMA projections, right? I'll be doing MMA tomorrow on tomorrow's show, as well as on the Ground and Pound podcast. I do the premium podcast. Typically, we talk for about 2 hours a card. So if you want to play MMA DFS, I do that behind the paywall, as well as for on the pregame show tomorrow on Fridays. So when I say I don't look at stats, right, it doesn't technically mean I'm physically not looking at stats. But it doesn't mean I don't care about the stats. It's just that it's already factored into the projections. There's no need for me to look at anything else. Because unless you don't trust the model. If you don't trust the model, then there's no point of even looking at the projections. Piecing everything together. It's anything that you would look at that is worthwhile, that has predictive power, would already be in the model. Even weather, even umpires, all that type of stuff also. Ballpark factors. Well, they're playing in the wind's blowing. That's already in there. Efficiency. You don't need it's number one, it's more efficient, and number two, it takes out all your bias. There are tons of times, why does this guy project low? It has to be for a reason. So instead of looking for that reason, you just trust the model and go, oh, okay. Christian Javier did not project as well as other pitchers yesterday. He got 10 strikeouts. He only pitched 4 innings. And remember, these projections are a range of outcomes, it's not a predict. Rodon he's going to score 23 points. No, his 50th percentile outcome is 23. His 25th percentile is 12. His 75th percentile is 35. Right, for the bat, at least. So all these are percentiles, not what is going to happen. But obviously, guys with higher medians typically have a higher range of outcomes. DFIC asks, playing the early slater, do you avoid 2 or 3 games? Yeah, a 2-game MLB slate plays so much more like Showdown. Like you're just building weird lineups and get unique, which I don't mind, but I typically avoid those in baseball. I'd almost rather play Showdown, an MLB single game Showdown, than a 2-game MLB slate. Because a 2-game MLB slate, there's way too many dupes. So no, I'm not playing. What do they have? Do they have what? This game and this 3 hours apart? I'd almost rather just play the showdowns for each of them if you can do it. And that's me personally. I'm just not gonna devote much bankroll to it. Because I really don't have a process in baseball to trim dupes. In MMA, I do. In NFL Showdown, I do. NBA Showdown to some degree, yes, but not in baseball. So I don't want to take the time. I don't want to put the money in for that. You could if you do. DFS is DFS. I mean, you don't have to play all the contests. You don't. I'm looking to play and make money and make a profit. So I'm going to put my money in what I believe are profitable situations. And even though maybe this is a 2-game slate, is a profitable slate, my strength is not in playing these 2-game MLB slates. My experience is much lower. So do I put money in here, or do I just put that money into the regular slate? That's what I'll do. Remember, you don't have to play. I mean, unless you're playing for entertainment. If you're playing for entertainment, do whatever the hell you want. Build a lineup. Do whatever you want. It'd be like Eric Johnson. Stack all the worst teams. Who cares? Stack the A's every day. Who cares? What does it matter? It's entertainment. $5, whenever. But it looks like the team total wise, I think we got the Braves #1 today. We're up there. So the Braves 5.75. Cleveland's close to 5. No, not that many. Actually, this is pretty low scoring slate. So we have a quite bit of decent pitching today, right? Rodon, Burns, Gausman, McKenzie. I think that I feel like I want to play Detroit against McKenzie. Cortez, Valdez. I mean, some of these guys aren't like the greatest, but they're not bad. Like Luis Castillo against the Yankees. Like he can get into trouble, but he could also strike out 7 guys. Right? We see these strikeout props very high. I just have a feeling. But what's Detroit's team total? 3? What the hell are they running out? It just feels like, right? I'm not even looking at the numbers. That between these guys, I think like McKenzie's one that's more likely to get blown up. And he's going to be owned, right? We have him at 34% owned. What the hell lineup is Detroit pulling out against McKenzie? I mean, yeah, it's not that great of a lineup. But it's cheap. I mean, look how cheap this is. Everyone's other than Baez is under 3K. So you can play Green, you can play Baez, Harold Castro, Scope. You can do something. I mean, I just don't rate Tristan McKenzie to be that great. Like if I'm looking for any of these guys to give up 8 runs, I think it'd be more likely to be him than a Cortez or a Valdez or even a Sonny Gray. Like Sonny Gray ain't bad. He doesn't get many strikeouts anymore. But he's not bad. But then you got guys like Castillo and Carrasco who could just they could completely break down. And then you got everyone else. And then you got the light hitting left Tyler Anderson, Marco Gonzalez, who really don't get shelled. Reed Detmers. I think a lot of people are gonna be playing Atlanta and Minnesota, right? Minnesota 4.74 against Cueto. Is that the second highest team total? No, Cleveland is against Detroit. Who's going to be playing basically Elvin Rodriguez is going to pitch, I think, like 3 innings, and then it's a bullpen game. And it's not like Detroit's bullpen is good. And the Yankees still have a 4.66 team total against Castillo. But yeah, I think the chalk could get really concentrated. Let's take a look at our current ownership projections. Jose Ramirez, Cleveland. Edman, yeah, because that second base is fairly weak position. Then we got Acuna. So we got Cleveland. We got Texas. Texas against Gonzalez. Are they going to be popular? What's their team total? 4.36. Okay, not bad for the price. Yeah, but I'm expecting Minnesota. The Twins and the Braves. Right, because Acuna's expensive. I mean, I think it's much harder to stack the Braves than the Twins. Now the Twins on FanDuel probably will be the chalkiest because they tend not to price those guys up enough. I think Kepler's still only 2,700 on FanDuel. But we take a look at the Twins. Yeah, the Twins are expensive. I mean, to play Arias at a 5,100, that takes balls, right? Yeah, so the Twins will be popular, but a lot of their main hitters to stack this team is going to be very expensive. I think the Braves may even be cheaper to stack outside of a couple of people. Let's take a look at the Braves. Right, because you could find an Eddie Rosario. Right, there are guys in here. I don't know if you play Robinson Cano. He has like a negative WRC plus or something. It's very low. Olson's 4,500. That's reasonable. Ozuna's 4,200. But of course, you maybe not be able to get all 3 of Acuna, Swanson, and Riley in there. But I think it's doable. And with the positions, you get shortstop, first base, third base, a whole bunch of outfielders to choose from, an expensive catcher. You could do it. And then on the Twins side, right, shortstop, second base, outfield. Let's play Jeffers. Jeffers is 2,900, batting 9th. But then how do you fit in the pitchers? So let's run some lineups and see. So based on the bat projections, let's just run some 5Xs. Let's just run 100 lineups to see what stacks come up. according to the current bat projections, which it's 11:35 in the morning. The starting lineups aren't in. Who knows? If you're playing the early slate, Jesus Sanchez has been scratched, just to let you know. Right, batting 6th for the Marlins in this 12:10 p.m. to 12 to noon game, whatever. You got 35 minutes to get him out of your lineup. I don't know who's in. I'll let you know. I'll let you know if you're playing the early whatever showdown or 2-game. No Sanchez. He's scratched. I don't know what I have Twitter tweet deck up next to me. I'll let you know. You should be able to get those notifications anyway. So let's run 100 lineups with the bat projections and see what shows up. Manny says, so when you look at the smash percentage and then you go to the projections for the highest top 2 teams, how far do you go on the team to tell that player is projected well? Well, if they come up in more lineups, I would highly suggest that you watch the shows, pregame shows. Like watch yesterday's show. Watch Tuesday's show. I built lineups yesterday. You could see. Okay, so they're up there. Okay, the updated lineup for the Marlins. Birdie, where the hell did it go? Birdie, Rojas, Aguilar, Garcia, Anderson, Fortes, De La Cruz, Williams. Billy Hamilton is in, batting 9th. Okay, so that's the change. Everyone moves up in the order, and Billy Hamilton's batting 9th. Okay. So ran 100 lineups. Oh, I didn't put in I always screw that up, right? I clicked the box and I never put in 100. Let's run 100 lineups again. Just to see 5-man stacks on DraftKings. How do they fit together in lineups? Based on their price, based on their position, based on the projection of other one-offs, based on the pitchers. Now, just because they come up a lot doesn't mean that they're the best team to use. Because, of course, you need to then, in GPP, compare to the ownership. But at least to get a sense of, what teams project well. So you just run the lineups and see. Everything's already been converted to numbers for you already. Right? That's already happened. Now it's just a matter of piecing them all together in a 10-player lineup. On DraftKings, at least. So you run 100 lineups, run 300 lineups, run whatever amount of lineups, and say, okay, what lineups come up more than others? Also understand that if they come up more, that also means other people are going to be playing them more also. So it's not a matter, that's the best stack. Yeah, that stack has the highest expectation of fantasy points, but probability-wise versus their ownership may be horrible. The Braves may be over-owned. Right, here we got a Guardian stack. Okay, let's see. Stack summary. So we get 41 Brave stacks. We get 38 Guardian stacks with the bat projections. That seems like the top 2. And then we take a look at pitcher-wise. Get a lot of Rodon and Gausman. Barely a little bit of Burns. But of course, the Braves are going to be popular. How popular are the Guardians going to be, though? What's going on with the Guardians? It's because they're just cheap, right? Other than Rosario, I don't know why he's 5K. Yeah, they have they have the second highest team total. Yeah, what was I thinking? Right, and you got a couple of guys that are only 2K in here: Straw, Molly, Jones, and they also fit a lot of positions. Right, you get shortstop, third base, first base, second base, catcher. You have a lot of multi, guys that's 2 first basemen in the lineup, that type of thing. So yeah, I could see the Guardians. Right, that makes sense on a slate like this. So we just look by projection on a 5-man stack. The top one is Gausman, Rodon, this 5-man Guardian stack, and then you Acuna, Swanson, and Victor Reyes with Gausman and Rodon. All right, so here's one with Edmund. I mean, Acuna seems to be in a lot of lineups anyway. Right? As a one-off. Right, Acuna, 75% out of 100. But still, the Braves are number 2. I mean, just take a look at the exposures here. Right, a lot of Guardians, a lot of Braves. Not a lot of Twins. I mean, not any twin. I mean, where are the Twins? Twins aren't here. I think the Twins will be more popular on FanDuel. So, like, let's say we switch it over to FanDuel. I'm going to switch it over there. Do the same thing on FanDuel. I think the Twins will be much more popular. If I ran 100, I think I think I don't know what the pricing is on the Guardians. The Guardians are kind of cheap there also. Maybe the Braves are maybe the Braves would be too expensive. So let's go to the bat projections here. Bat projections, and let's do the same thing. Let's run 100. Just regular just 4X. I mean, you really probably wouldn't play 4X, but this is the 4-man stack and 4 one-offs. Right, just to see what shows up. All right, let's see. Run that 100. Because like Buxton's 3,700 on FanDuel, I think Correa's 33. I think they're a little cheap in comparison to other. I think that the Braves are expensive. Like all of them are expensive. So that's why site to site is going to be different. So it's quite possible that the Twins on DraftKings, maybe, even though they're a little overpriced, they're also going to be much lower owned on DraftKings. Right? We get some, right? We get Correa here, Kirilloff. Do we get any? Let's see. Do we get any Twin stacks? Yeah, we get 2 out of 100. Jeffers, Kirilloff, Polanco, Correa, Buxton. With Acuna as a one-off, but still with Gausman and Rodon. Okay, yeah, we got 2. Okay, at least 2 of them came up in the top 100. But on FanDuel, let's take a look at FanDuel. Stack summary. No, we get a lot of Houston, actually. What's up with Houston today? Or is it because they're cheap? Let's see. Houston, well, 4.58. Okay, that's a healthy team total. But is it just that they're cheap? Because Aledmus Diaz is 2,200. Yeah, Tucker and Brett. Tucker is, yeah, okay, I could see this. Okay, the Astros. And they still have the Braves. Because Rosario is cheap enough, but everyone else is fairly expensive. Right, you got the Astros. Like here's Rodon, 4 Braves, Max Kepler, Bregman and Diaz, Pasquantino. Yeah, I could see playing a lineup like this in like small field, single entry type of stuff. So more Twins on FanDuel, but not as much as I thought. Like Kepler. Like Kepler's going to be a very popular one-off, 72%. But here, we have Matt Chapman. Oh, the Blue Jays going to be under-owned? Maybe the Blue Jays are under-owned on FanDuel. What's going on with the Blue Jays today? They're facing the Royals. But they're not facing the position play. They're Carlos Hernandez. I don't know what the total is. So we have a data error here. The Blue Jays on FanDuel. But this is what you do. This is using lineup HQ as a research tool. Right? What comes up? What comes up in non-Acuna lineups? What comes up in if I didn't play this pitcher, what then would I end up getting more of? And you just spend the time, whatever site you're on, and see. Well, what if I wanted to play 5-3 stacks? What if I wanted to play 4-3-1? And just run through lineups. Go, well, if I don't play the Guardians, let me X them all out. And then what comes up? And what's the projection and what's the ownership? And you're trying to find a nice blend. Decently projected, lower owned. The highest projected lineup for the lowest ownership possible. And obviously, these numbers will update throughout the day as starting lineups come in. Like I said, we don't know the starting lineups. And the starting lineups also affect the pitchers. Realize that also. Right, the Yankee lineup shows up and there's no Judge or Stanton. They're resting half the team. And Castillo's projection is going to go up, obviously. And obviously the Yankees as a team is going to come down. So that's why you should subscribe to RotoGrinders Premium. Get lineup HQ to me is the best. This is like my default screen on my browser. When I start the day, I open up Lineup HQ from DraftKings and FanDuel, where I'm going to be playing later tonight. And I do some little research. I do exactly what I just showed you. Let me run the 100 lineups and see. Let me run this and see. Let me see who projects here and who does that over there. Let me take a look at ownership. Doesn't mean I have to study this for 7 hours. No. Typically, I look in the morning preliminarily. Then don't have to really do much. I mean, I could show up 15 minutes before a slate and just build all my lineups without looking at anything else. If you trust the model, and I trust the model. Cardi, our projections team, right, for the Plate IQ projections, build models better than I could. I could do it on my own, but I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be as good as what I could get at RotoGrinders. And it would take me 400, 800 hours to do. So why am I going to spend 800 hours developing my own projection model for at the end be not as good as the one that's at RotoGrinders? So why waste the time? I don't. I just trust the model. But then you have to decide how to put the pieces together. That's your job. Right? The optimizer isn't going to tell you. It's just going to do whatever you tell it. So you're going to be, I'm going to play 150 of the best possible lineups, projection-wise. From a median standpoint. They're also going to be some of the most owned lineups. So from a leverage standpoint, you're doing awful. So for large field GPPs, you're going to play the top 150 optimals, probably be bleeding a lot of money away. So we provide the model. We provide the tool to build lineups any way that you want. But the key is any way that you want. There's no magic settings. You tell it what to do. And if you want tutorials on that, we got stuff in RotoGrinders Premium. We've gone to tutorials for the past 2 or 3 years. Go into the Roto Academy section. You can watch whatever you want. And obviously, you could watch this show. Watch the past episodes of this show, the pregame show. Start from the beginning if you want. Doesn't matter if we're not talking about today's slate. Learn the concepts. Learn the tools. And you should be a better DFS player for doing so. But I'm always here answering your questions. Manny seems like a new person. I don't yell at the new people, right? So people that I recognize their usernames that ask questions. Haven't you asked the same question 14 times? That's when I get annoyed. The new people, I'm fairly nice to. I think I was pretty nice. Hit that thumbs up button if you thought I was nice, right? Thumbs. Maybe I'm in a good mood because I got my wrestling tickets, right? The pre-sale, they're probably sold out already. It's 48 minutes into the sale. They're probably gone. Good thing I did it before the show. But tomorrow we'll have MMA, DFS, go over, lineup combinations, DFS strategy for that. Obviously, sign up for RotoGrinders Premium. You'll get the Ground and Pound podcast when it comes out. And yeah, so we'll have a 11-game baseball slate tonight. Grinders live later today on this channel. Hit that notification bell. You'll know when we go live. 5 o'clock, Grinders live. They'll go over the entire 11-game slate. And then right after that is Crunch Time, brought to you by FanDuel. I don't think there's any weather today. Any bad weather, obviously. There is weather. So I don't think we have to worry about anything, but they'll lead you up until lock, answering all your questions then. And I'll answer all your questions about DFS strategy in the morning like I always do here on the DFS pregame show on RotoGrinders.com.